Welcome to Disney Planning Insights. This is a replay of our DPI News and Notes show that we do every Tuesday over on Facebook. To see my smiling face, find us on Facebook at DPI Podcast or on YouTube at the Disney Planning Insights Podcast. Now enjoy this episode after a short ad from our friends at Anchor. Hey everybody, what's going on? It is Matt with the DPI podcast, and it is Tuesday, October the 19th, and we have a good show. We're going to have actually two shows tonight, so definitely want to stick with us and check out both shows. A couple things before we get started. First off, Carmela Anello, thank you for following the podcast page over on Facebook. Great to have another subscriber over there. If you haven't subscribed, definitely go over there and check out the page. Also, as you see at the bottom of the page, we now have the Spotify app logo on here. If you do listen to the podcast in the playback form, audio-wise, go over to the Spotify mobile app, and there will be a poll and a question to answer every week, and we'll be talking about those answers every time that we come back on. So with that being said, let's jump into the news because we want to get through the news relatively quick. So Disney Cruise Lines announced that their port adventure reservations are going to be needed to get off the ship now. So what that means is that you have to book one of those port experiences before you're able to get off the ship, except at Castaway Cay. So all of the other destinations are requiring vaccination or something else, and now Disney Cruise Line is wanting you to do that port adventure. So make sure you've got one of those required. You have to book it through the cruise website prior to going out. And like I said, this is for all ports except for Castaway Cay. Also on the Disney Cruise Line side, the Disney Wish is going to have an exhibit over at Walt Disney Presents in Hollywood Studios. So as you make that turn from basically like the animation courtyard area around to Toy Story Land, there's a building there on the corner that is Walt Disney Presents, and that is where you're going to be able to see the new Disney Wish exhibit. One of the big things that they're talking about there is the the statue of Cinderella. They've got a life-size replica of what's going to be in the main ballroom. As far as at the parks, a couple of new ways to trade pins at the parks. First one is going to be you're going to have your normal pin boards, and those are now going to be marked on the maps. And then also you're going to have mystery boxes. And on the mystery box side, you're actually going to be able to pick one of 24 boxes, and you get a chance to get a better pin while you're trading. You know, pin trading is a huge deal at the parks, and it's really fun. I know my daughter gets into it, so really cool to have that as well. Last thing that I'm going to talk about before we kind of get out of here, I'll talk about two things really quick. I'm trying to keep this episode short, sweet, and to the point so we can get over to Peter over at Boo Bash. He just jumped on the Zoom. The first one is Walt Disney World released their Christmas guide. Let me go over to it real quick because we've got a lot of things coming on line with the Christmas guide, and it's a lot of the same things that we're used to seeing at Christmas time over at Walt Disney World. So we're going to get some entertainment. We're getting a parade at Walt Disney World. We're getting a stage show. We're going to have Santa Claus, not only in the parade, but he's going to be doing meet and greets, where they have individual time where they can say hello. And those are going to happen at Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and Disney Springs. Another thing that's coming back, which is really cool, is that Merry Menagerie, those puppets in front of Animal Kingdom. So up in the front of the Tree of Life area. These puppets are awesome. We had a chance to see them a couple years ago. They are fantastic. So if you do get a chance to get over to Animal Kingdom, you get that. And then, you know, you get the overlay on Tower of Terror, and then traditions around the world at Epcot with Festival of the Seasons over at Epcot, which is pretty awesome. So we'll have all those things coming back. Now, the big thing today was Disney Genie released. And I've been kind of talking back and forth with Peter from Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel about this. And it's got some real value while you're at the parks. You know, I was looking and watching Scott Gustin over on Twitter. And at like 4 o'clock, he had already been able to ride like 12 rides with the Lightning Lane. So it's comparable to what you were able to do with Fast Pass, just in a little bit different way. And that's going to be on the Genie Plus side. So basically, if you have tickets now, you have to purchase the Genie Plus the day of your ticket. So say you're going tomorrow, you've got to purchase it after midnight tonight for tomorrow. If you're staying on site, you can then make your first Lightning Lane reservation at 7 a.m. If you're not staying on site, you have to wait until the park opens. Once you make your first reservation, you have one of two ways to get to your next reservation. You can either ride that first ride or wait 2 hours after the park opens to make your second reservation. So say you make your first reservation at Magic Kingdom at 7 a.m. You can either ride a ride before 10 a.m. or you can make another reservation at 10 a.m. and kind of stack those reservations. So there's going to be some play on that and see how it works best. The other thing is the Epcot rule, and we're going to call it that because Epcot opens so late, you can't do that stacking prior to park open. So there was some thought that you could do, you know, a reservation at 7 o'clock, a reservation at 9 o'clock, park opens at 10, and another reservation at 11 o'clock. And you can't do that. If you have to wait for that 120-minute cooldown, your next reservation, if the park opens at 10 o'clock, won't be able to be made until noon. So just remember that. But past that, not a whole lot else going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close out of this podcast here. And thank you guys all for watching. Definitely want to subscribe over on Facebook at DPI Podcast, on Twitter at Disney Insights, and over on the YouTube channel, the Disney Planning Insights Podcast. So thank you guys all for watching and have a good night. 11:30. We're going to talk to you. Hey, everybody, it's Matt. I'm talking to Peter over on the other side. Thank you for watching. Definitely want to follow us over on Facebook at DPI Podcast, on Twitter at Disney Insights. Stay up to breast with what's going on at the parks, what's going on with our clients, and thank you guys for watching, listening, everything you do. You guys have a good week, and we will be back with a full show next Tuesday. Bye now.